haven't had the opportunity to speak for a while. But here we are, I'm back, and I want to talk about the only thing that matters in real life presently, and that's Brexit. Okay, let's cut straight to the core. As a spook who's been involved in the secret intelligence world and national security world for over 30 years, I can tell you that splitting from the European Union is a bad idea in terms of my profession and the combating of terrorism or the combating of other national security problems. We work with our colleagues day in, day out in Europe on these issues, with, of course, the United States and with the other Five Eyes countries. But the reality is that our European partners are one of the strongest partners that we've had, and that's been the case forever and a day. And to actually just push this away is lunacy. As my ex-boss, bosses actually, chiefs of that are known as C of MI6, say both Richard Dearlove and the latest boss as well of the organisation. So listen, why am I saying this? Because it seems that we in the United Kingdom have taken the opportunity to say to individuals on the Clapham omnibus, you know, the man and woman sitting on the top deck of the bus of London, what should our foreign policy be? What should our policy in terms of the EU be? Or the chap and his wife or girlfriend or partner sitting in the Blackpool pub or the pub in, I don't know, Clacton-on-Sea. What should our policy be in terms of how we internationally deal with other countries? That is both in terms of economics and in terms of our geopolitics. The reality is, when will the British public stand up and say, we did not understand what the European Union does and what it meant being a partner within the European Union for the last 40 years? When will some of these people stand up and say, I don't have a clue what the customs union is, I don't have a clue what the single market is, I don't have a clue what Schengen is, I don't have a clue what the Erasmus elements are, I don't have a clue what it means for majority voting or unanimous voting within the EU Parliament. Indeed, I don't even know how the EU Parliament works. I don't know what our representation is within the EU. When will they actually stand up and say, I didn't understand? It's all right to say, should we be in the EU or out of the EU? The bigger question is, what is the EU? And the United Kingdom public didn't have a clue. And I'll tell you now, I'll go as far as to say, Dominic Cummings, example, is the man who basically put forward the revolutionary programme in terms of using Facebook, in terms of using other social media, in terms of targeting 1 billion social media hits to individuals. Dominic Cummings put this together based on the fact, and he'll say it, and actually if you look on my feed you'll see it, there's a clip of him, 15 minutes of him explaining how he used the ignorance of the people, and I'll use the word he used, ignorance of the people who were going to vote for leave, to push forward the idea that it's good to leave the European Union. In other words, what he actually said at the later stages, he would be surprised if 1% of the people in the room where he's giving his speech, and take into account he is giving his speech to people who supposedly understand the European Union because they were people from London University. He said, I'll be surprised if 1% of the people in this room actually understand what the single market is. A cornerstone of the European Union. And I'm pretty sure that 99% of the people who voted didn't understand what the single market was, or the customs union was, or what the 4 pillars of the European Union were. And for this nonsense, I keep hearing time and time again that people say, oh, we didn't vote to be part of the EU, we voted to be part of the EEC, a trading bloc. It's nonsense. From day one, the EEC subsequently EU, was all about a political union within Europe. From day one. That's what the founders of the EU, EEC, actually said. Konrad Adenauer was very clear, it's a political union. From day one of its foundation. In fact, if you go back to 1940, Sir Winston Churchill, who first suggested the whole idea, when he said to France, the French Empire and the British Empire should come together as one country in 1940, it was a political idea. When, after the Second World War, he said that we should come together as a United States of Europe, this is Winston Churchill, in order to counterweight the United States. He said that. It's fact. You can look it up. Again, it was a political idea. So please, people, understand, this idea was always political. Always. Never wasn't. And it was always verging on the side of the United States of Europe. Please look it up. I want people who voted leave or remain, to be truthful, to actually get informed. Look up and find out what the European Union was about. Look up what it did for you and me, the normal people, the normal everyday people. How it made our lives better, the laws that came in. In fact, somebody send me a law that they do not like that the European Union passed. Because actually the vast majority of laws, of course, in the European Union are based on not majority voting, but unanimous voting. So if the United Kingdom didn't like the laws, they wouldn't pass. So please send me a law that you think we didn't have any part in making. Okay, that's me, Carlton Black Kings. Quick short one in about the European Union. We have to get a second vote and people have to then informed vote about what's going on. If they're happy to lose their jobs, great, but be informed about it. You know what to do. Press below if you want to get most of my short little vlogs coming through as a actual right, and you don't just want to just kind of find them just by a glance. And if you have any argument whatsoever you want to come back to me about, or in fact in agreement, please again just put it down below and I'll come back to you. All the best. See you later. Bye bye.